My name is Intravaia, and I am very excited to be applying for admission to the Ed.D. in Curriculum and Instruction program at ACE. A little bit about myself. I am a third grade teacher. I am very lucky because I have been teaching in the same small community building since I started my career 19 years ago. I love my role as an elementary school teacher. I feel very lucky to go to a job every day where I make a difference in children's lives and help them reach their highest potential. I'm also lucky enough to be engaged to a man that I can call my best friend, and I am the very proud mother of a 15-year-old son who is a talented tuba player. He attends my school district, and I get to watch him thrive in the music program in our district. In regard to question 2, what makes me a strong candidate for the Ed.D. program, I chose to focus on leadership. I'd like to start by just talking about how I feel I am a leader in my classroom. Every day I go into my room with a positive attitude because I know that I am a role model for the young faces that look up to me every day. I believe to myself to be a kind and compassionate leader in my classroom, but I also have very high expectations for my students, and I believe they rise to those expectations because they trust me and they look up to me and admire me, and they know that I care about their happiness and well-being above anything else. I also play a leadership role between my elementary school and our local university, East Stroudsburg University. I am what's called the building liaison between our school and their professional development school in their College of Education. So I work with all of the teacher candidates who come into Maury Elementary. They begin as what we call primary 1 students. I call them apprentices, learning in their second half of their junior year. And then they stay with us through their student teaching. And as the liaison, I work with them and create workshops based on their needs as young educators coming into the classroom and transitioning from being students at the college to actually being teachers. And I think if you ask them, they would tell you that I am a strong role model for them. I listen to them and genuinely understand their needs as educators, and I work hard to make sure that they feel comfortable and accepted in our school community, and I lead them to be the best educators that they can be. And I have to say, over the several years that I've had this role, it's been very exciting to see them leave our elementary school as student teachers and get jobs in their field. So I feel like my partnership with the university really helps them to be great teacher candidates as they exit our school and become teachers themselves. In my building, my colleagues see me as a leader. I've always been somebody that they can turn to if there are issues with curriculum or issues in the building. They know they can count on me to approach administration if there's a problem and help to problem solve and make everyone's lives better in the building. They elected me early on as their union building representative, and shortly thereafter, the union president saw something in me and recruited me to be a member of the core negotiations team, where I sat with 3 other negotiators to help settle a contract in very turbulent times in our district. And that role has been part of my life for the past 6 years, trying to negotiate a fair contract for everybody. And very excited to say that this summer we finally signed a contract, and it was exciting to be able to bring something to the entire membership of my district that made their lives better. I'm also the union secretary, and I continually just strive to work towards the greater good of everybody. I believe my union president would say that I am very trustworthy and very dedicated as a leader, and I can see beyond the needs of myself for what is best for everybody. As far as question number 3, My biggest challenge, I would say, is probably going to be the first year, because my son is in the high school and he's very active in marching bands and concert band and jazz band, and he's in the musical, and so there's lots of driving him around because he still doesn't have a license, which takes a lot of time. So probably having a full-time job as a teacher and being kind of a taxi service for my son and trying to learn how to be a student again is probably going to be the greatest challenge that I'm faced with. But I'm sure that it's just going to take a little rearranging of my schedule and kind of learning how to carve out time for myself as a student again. And I'm sure that I will figure something out. And then in a couple years, he's going to be off to college, and I'll have plenty of time to work on dissertation, and look forward to that. For number 4, the single task that I would consider to be the most significant accomplishment for me would be, I'd have to say, helping my students to achieve success on our standardized test scores. 3 years ago, I shifted from first grade to third grade, and our school was K-2 before that. So when I started third grade, it was the first time our school ever administered standardized state tests. And it was really kind of a big question mark for us. We weren't really sure how standardized testing was going to go and how to prepare our students. Our district curriculum is not strong for a new teacher in a grade level. I was uncertain of exactly what I was supposed to be teaching, and I did my best that first year, and we administered those tests, and I was like, okay, maybe they did okay. And in the summer, when we received our first set of test scores, we being me and my teaching partner, there's only 2 of us who teach third grade in my building, our students did very poorly. They were in the 20 percentiles for both English language arts and mathematics. And I remember crying in the principal's office because I felt devastated that I hadn't been able to help my students become successful. So from that time, it was my goal to change those scores and change the success for my students academically. And so my teaching partner and I dove in. We started studying our curriculum and looking for its weaknesses and how we can fill in those loopholes. We looked at our data for where we could see we needed the most growth. We thought about our student population and how we could motivate them and get them excited to engage in these tests and do their very best. And we've just worked really, really hard over the last 3 years to continually shape curriculum and help our students be the best that they could be. And this summer, when our principal got our test scores, it was really exciting because our student growth over the 3 years was enormous in third grade. And my third grade teaching partner and I can take responsibility for that. We went from being in the 20 percentiles to being over 70% in ELA and mathematics, which we had the highest scores in our district. We beat the state standard for percentages on how students did across the state. So it was monumental, I think, for us. And when I saw my third graders who were fourth graders when they came back, it was so exciting to hug them and talk to them about their success and how proud we were of them and how hard they worked. And I could see that they were proud and they were excited when they saw their scores, and they were like, yeah, we were in the green. And so I have to say that that was really so special to me, because it was a goal that I set out to accomplish, and with hard work and commitment and really looking at things for their face value, we were able to make a difference and make a change. And that's kind of fun because other educators from different buildings and admin are coming to talk to us about what we're doing in our classrooms and how it was that we could possibly go from, in the 20th percentile to the 70th. And so now my goal would be to maintain and improve, which I know is going to be a struggle because we're so high up, and that's part of the reason that I'm excited to enter this program, because I know that there's still, and this is kind of going into number 5, there's still a lot I need to learn about understanding data and analyzing data and helping to use that data drive my instruction in the classroom. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about, is how to really dive into it and to really look at standards and shape curriculum so that my students can continue to grow and achieve the highest success possible. I would say then my long-term goal, because I do continue to stay in the elementary classroom for several years, but beyond that, I would like to be a professor of education. I've really loved my role as the liaison, working with the college students to help them become educators, and I feel that I'm a very powerful impact on them, and I'd like to continue to do that as a professor and really help future teachers become the best that they can be. So that's my long-term goal, is to finish up my career as an elementary educator and then shift to a professor of education and continue to help students in the long run, because I'll help shape educators. So that's a little bit about me. I am really looking forward to working with you at ACE, and I hope that you see me as a strong candidate, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much. Bye.